Hello everyone, this is Chilliness. Welcome to an introduction to Neofly. Alongside this video, there will be another video uploaded of our first flight on Neofly. There will be an annotation to that in the top right of your screen right about now. And if you want to watch this video through, there will also be a link to the video on the end cards. Thanks for watching. Let's get into this. Once you've created your pilot, you will be met with a screen that looks like this. There is a lot of information. Don't worry, it isn't all that hard once you understand it. When you start as your pilot career, you will start as a cadet. That gives you access to a single plane and these following jobs: cargo, illicit, passenger, and passenger tourist. Each of these beginner jobs will grant you 10 XP and you need 1000 XP to level up. So you will have to do 100 flights to level up to the second officer rank, which will then of course unlock more jobs. We'll get into that as our playthrough continues. Next up is freelance jobs. In this tab, you can fly whatever plane you like in whatever type of job you would like, as long as it's available. These don't give you as much cash here. As you can see, $500 for an emergency here, where you might get about 3,500 through the jobs tab, but you can fly whatever you would like and whatever job. That's a big plus there, and it all counts towards your money up here. So definitely an option there. If you get a little bit bored of your current plane, you can go fly another one and still contribute to your Neofly profile. Next up is the hangar. This is where you can find your aircraft. This is where you can insure it, which we will momentarily. Where you can refuel your aircraft. If you land especially heavy, you can repair your aircraft here. It will also sustain damage over flight hours and your engine as well. I do highly recommend that if you're flying a lot and a bit unsure about your skills, be sure to insure your aircraft, and if you have the paid options of airlines, be sure to insure that aircraft as well. Next up is the flight tab. You can get information about your current job here, including how many passengers, how much cargo, how far you have to travel, and how much money you are going to make, as well as any special conditions along here. We will get to them as we continue our playthrough, and you will also have a list of your jobs here. Over here is information about your flight, including any safety hazards or warnings, as well as your landing reports and the like. Next up is the goods market. If you are unhappy with any locations that your jobs may be sending you, you can actually fly another job here by loading up on goods and transporting them to another airport. For example, here Essendon is selling all of these goods here, and Avalon is buying mechanical parts, vegetables, and whiskey, with mechanical parts being the highest rated. So if nothing catches your fancy in the jobs and you just want to move airports to try and get some better jobs, this is definitely a way to do it. Next up is the aircraft market, where you can buy or rent planes. When you rent a plane, it costs 10% of the cost of the plane, so $374,195 equals $37,420, 10%. You don't just have to stick to the airfield you are at. You can look at any other airfield in the world, see what sort of aircraft they have around for rent and to buy, or you can choose by aircraft type as well, and it will show you all the locations they are, how much they are, and that's how the aircraft market works. Very simple. Next up is your career window. This is where you can change your call sign, move yourself around, and even look at your statistics landing, usually all in one go. You can also look at mission types that you choose, the rewards you're making, the most used aircraft flight time, and distance. There are also these achievements under the profile picture, but we'll get into them more as we progress through the playthrough. These are going to take a while to unlock regardless. They're actually achievements in Neofly. Next up is the qualifications window. You will not be able to fly any aircraft in the job market straight away. You will have to qualify for them. This costs money, so you will be stuck with monoprop planes at first, but as you continue and get more money, you can get yourself qualified in all these planes. So you have monoprop, multiprop, turboprop, multi-turboprop, dual engine planes, quad engine planes, helicopters, and military. We'll be doing some qualifications at some stage, and they may be uploaded to a second channel. If you want information on that, information is down in the description. Logs and X, this is essentially just a logbook showing you all of your flights, the date, departure, arrival, the distance you traveled, the time, the landing feet per minute, and then your bonuses, bonus comfort for your landing feet per minute, bank and pitch, the flight stall overspeed. You don't want these things to happen for it to be a good flight. And then bonus security, landing lights, beacons, and taxi speeds under 30 knots. Next up, we have the finances tab where you get to see your incoming and outgoing cash flow. No one likes anything better than seeing those numbers rise. You can also use this tab to pick up some loans, and you get some information about what you are spending money on, including repairs, fuel, your airport fees, pilot fees if you have pilots, and the amount of balance that you have after the transaction. Next up is the staff. This is actually a paid feature, so we're not going to go over this for too long, but essentially you can hire pilots to fly your additional aircraft here, and managers for your FBOs over here, which give you bonuses. We'll go into this more throughout our playthrough because we have these paid options, but we're not going to stick on it too much here because you may not have this. Next up is the airline tab. Again, this is another paid feature that we have access to, but we're not going to go over too much here. Essentially, you can buy your own FBOs and run jobs out of them, creating your own lines between your FBOs. We'll get into that more throughout our playthrough as well. Next up is the campaigns tab. This is a story mode within NeoFly. I don't believe you need to be anywhere near these airfields to fly them, but it takes you on a series of missions here, taking you through the story here. I believe there is voice lines in this as well. I've never done a story, so maybe one time we'll actually do that as well. There's also a second story, Cleopatra, which is also a paid option on the NeoFly store. Next up are your settings. The first thing I'm going to recommend you do is get a Bing map key. I'll put a video link or a link to where you can get the Bing map key down in the description, where you can insert your Bing map key. This gives you access to the maps here in the job market. On top of that, you can also turn on and off your tooltips, have a satellite map or not. You can choose to manually trigger your missions in the flight tab. You can reset all of your tips here. I also recommend turning on the fuel sync simulation, and if you have a paid option, you can turn on 3D cargo objects as well. And finally, here in the settings, you can choose your voice pack. You can choose Alina, which is a voice that you may be hearing throughout our playthrough, Michael, which is a paid option, or they can be mute and silent. Lastly, before the logout button, we have the store. Here you can get access to your additional pilots, your airline. Sky4Sim is an EFB that you can use both in-game or in your web browser on a tablet on a second monitor. Very highly recommend this if you don't use programs like Volanta. You can also accept NeoFly jobs from within this program as well, and it's free. It also has paid options. Next up is where you buy the campaigns and the Michael dispatch sounds. With that is our roundup of the NeoFly interface. Once again, we do have another video coming up at the same time as this of our first NeoFly flight. I hope you're looking forward to that. I know I am. Be sure to let me know what you think of this video down in the comments section if you found it helpful and with a little bit more understanding. I've also put up a channel in our Discord for NeoFly where you can share your progress, your screenshots, go ham on it. It'll be great to see you there. There's a link for that also down in the description. With that, be sure to check out episode 1 of NeoFly, and I will see you again sometime real soon. Until then, take care. Ciao, everyone.